Welcome to UX Tigers, the home of fearless usability. Jacob Nielsen's latest email newsletter is about, well, email newsletters. Email newsletters are the cockroaches of digital media, in the best way possible. They've survived Web 2.0, Facebook's world domination, TikTok dances, and they're about to survive the AI apocalypse too. You know the drill. You spend hours crafting the perfect social post, a brilliant case study, or a killer design tip. You hit publish, and then you pray to the algorithmic gods that your followers actually see it. Sometimes they do, but most of the time it feels like shouting into the void, right? Think of social media platforms like renting an apartment in a building where your landlord is completely unhinged. One day they decide your living room needs to be 50% smaller. The next day, they charge you to have guests over. And occasionally, they evict you because you violated some rule they made up 5 minutes ago. That's basically what we're dealing with on social platforms. We're just tenants at the mercy of algorithmic landlords. Everything you spent years building can be gone tomorrow if YouTube changes what it likes. But an email list? That's like owning your own house. Sure, it might not be as flashy as that penthouse apartment on Instagram, but nobody can kick you out. It's yours. And most importantly, you have a direct line to people who want to hear from you. This is permission marketing. Seth Godin's old idea that should make every usability freak's heart sing. When someone subscribes to your newsletter, they're not being targeted or hunted down by some creepy retargeting pixel. They're raising their hand and saying, "Yes, I want to hear from you." It's like the difference between someone inviting you to their party versus you showing up uninvited with a karaoke machine. One of these scenarios ends well. The other, not so much. And the data backs this up in a huge way. In his article, Dr. Nielsen reveals that his 25,000 newsletter subscribers generate 44 times more page views than his 166,000 LinkedIn followers. Let me say that again. After you do the math, a single newsletter subscriber is worth 295 times more than a LinkedIn follower. 295 times more. That is an astronomical difference in engagement between permission media and social media. It's the difference between a crowd of casual onlookers and a dedicated room of fans hanging on your every word. Now, Jacob mentions Robert Cialdini's principle of reciprocity here, and it's genius. When you give someone valuable content consistently, they feel this psychological urge to give back, whether that's loyalty, engagement, or even buying your stuff. It's like when someone holds the door for you and you suddenly feel compelled to sprint the last 10 feet so they don't wait too long, except less awkward and more profitable. Speaking of profitable, let me blow your mind with some stats. There are 4.5 billion email users worldwide. That's billion with a B. And companies are now spending more on paid newsletter subscriptions than on newspaper subscriptions. We've literally reached the point where that old-school inbox is more valuable than traditional media. If that doesn't make you reconsider your channel strategy, I don't know what will. Here's where Jacob gets really specific. He breaks down the actual UX of newsletters because, surprise, surprise, even email needs design. And honestly, some of his points made me realize how many companies are absolutely butchering this. First up, the subscription experience. Jacob's advice? Stop asking for people's life story just to sign up. Nobody wants to fill out a form that asks for their blood type and their first pet's name just to get your weekly newsletter. Keep it simple. Email address, maybe a name, done. Pump the brakes, friend. And that welcome email? It gets 60% open rates, which is insane. That's your moment to shine, to set expectations, to not be weird. Jacob suggests sending it immediately while people still remember they subscribed, because nothing says professional operation quite like getting a welcome email 3 weeks later when you've completely forgotten what you signed up for. Now let's talk about frequency, because this is where things get spicy. Baymard Institute found that 59% of people unsubscribe because they get too many emails in general, and 51% specifically because that sender emails too often. This is where Jacob Nielsen's trusty usability heuristic about user control comes in. Give people options. Let them choose between daily updates, weekly summaries, or just the big announcements. It's like offering different portion sizes at a restaurant. Not everyone wants the all-you-can-eat buffet. All right, they're in. Now your email has to survive the great inbox triage. This happens in a split second, and it all comes down to three things: the from name, the subject line, and the pre-header text. Your from name should be recognizable and consistent. The subject line needs to be clear, honest, and answer the user's question. Why should I open this? Clarity trumps cleverness here. And don't forget the pre-header. That little snippet of text after the subject is prime real estate in the inbox view. Don't let it default to view this email in your browser. Use it to add context and intrigue. And here's a hot take that I absolutely loved. Jacob says if enough people hate something you do in your newsletter, that's really a reason to do it more. Because being bland and inoffensive in a world drowning in content is the only real sin. It's like being the plain vanilla ice cream in a world full of birthday cake and cookie dough flavors. Sure, some people like vanilla, but nobody's taking photos of it for Instagram. And here's where things get really interesting: the AI angle. You might think AI is going to kill newsletters just like it's coming for all our jobs. But Jacob argues the opposite. As AI starts answering queries directly and basically murders SEO as we know it, having a direct line to your audience becomes even more critical. An email newsletter is your insurance policy against the robot overlords. Plus, AI will make newsletters better, not obsolete. We're talking AI assistants that help with personalization, dynamic frequency adjustment based on individual preferences, and content that adapts to each reader. It's like having a personal newsletter butler who knows exactly how you take your content, shaken, not stirred. AI can't disintermediate a direct relationship. It can't unsubscribe a user from a newsletter they genuinely value. AI will summarize and prioritize the user's inbox to filter out the noise and elevate the authentic voices. Your job is to be one of those voices. So here's my takeaway. Stop treating email like it's some outdated channel your grandma uses. It's your secret weapon in a world where every other platform is trying to limit your reach unless you pay up. Because at the end of the day, while everyone else is dancing for the algorithm, you'll be building real relationships with people who actually want to hear from you. And in a world where AI is about to shake everything up, that direct connection is everything. Jacob recommends publishing an email newsletter if you want to remain relevant after AI reaches superintelligence. Start now, because it takes years to build a strong subscriber list. Please like my video and subscribe to Jacob Nielsen's email newsletter at UX Tigers to get his latest updates directly to your inbox every week.